This is the Wheel of Time Spoilers podcast.
All right, recording is on.
Recording is on this honkin' chonkin' set of pages. Like, not a lot happens, but God, there's a lot of pages.
And I guess I should say sorry for missing last week. I was fairly ill, so I pulled the plug on recording. I wasn't going to make it for 2 hours.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. Glad that you are back, reconstituted, upright.
Hydrated.
Yeah, really, really glad that you're back with us. That gap in our recording publishing schedule happened to fall perfectly onto Thanksgiving. So anyone who didn't notice we put out an episode on Thanksgiving, you probably didn't because you were Thanksgivingizing or whatever, unless you were boycotting the holiday, in which case, props to you. But yeah, that's why that gap was there.
Or desperately looking for audio to distract you from your family holiday. In that case, sorry, we missed you.
Look, we've got 500 plus episodes you can go back and listen to if you need to listen to us.
Have you heard our opinion on this? Probably. Yeah, you could probably put together. Yeah.
But yeah, today we've got some very Sandersonian chapters to get through.
Yes.
And we're both here. I'm very, very tired, so Seth might be carrying a lot of the conversation, but we are at least here. So.
I have things to say about these chapters for sure. And there are good points, as always. There's always good things in the chapters that Sanderson writes, right? There's always like a couple of moments that I really appreciate that he does. There's also quite a bit to criticize in these chapters.
Yeah, there's one or two things I'm going to have to get my soapbox out for.
All right. Where does the term standing on your soapbox come from?
In an era of demagoguery, I think in like the 20s, I think during the era of like populism becoming really a thing, people would literally get crates that soap would be shipped in, and they would stand on them like in public spaces and yell about whatever the issue of the day was. I read this several years ago, but I remember being like, no, like it's a literal like shipping crate that had like a soap brand, stenciled on it, and like people would stand on them because they were sturdy enough to hold a human, and they would be enough elevated, and it's easy to carry around. Right? Like they're not heavy. I could be wrong about a couple of the details, like when that was, but I believe it is literally a shipping crate for soap.
Just a way to get your head above the crowd and...
Yeah, to stand higher and be able to project your voice in such a way people look, who's shouting? Oh, that person who's, 8 feet tall instead of 6 feet tall or whatever.
As opposed to jumping up on a statue to look after a woman with a plume in her hat.
Right, yeah. Exactly. Or needing like an actual stage, or being on the back of a moving carriage,
So we come into a city that has gotten dirty, mucky, right?
Yeah. We're returning to Bandar Eban after Rand abandoned it, and it shows signs of having been abandoned. Also, this is chapter 25 with the sea folk gulls as the chapter symbol.
Sure. Yes. Sorry, we jumped right into that one.
Yeah, because we're going to talk to sea folk because, again, the Bandar Eban food situation.
Right.
Big sea folk component.
Even though they're kind of barely in this chapter, but sort of at the end.
Well, but they're a big part of why the food situation is the way it is.
Yeah. And what's the expression? You're only 3 meals away from chaos, right? So 3 meals was a couple of days ago.
It's 9 missed meals.
9 missed meals, 3 days worth of meals. Yeah.
Civic Order is 9 missed meals away from unraveling. Yes. If you don't get to eat for 3 days, you will be looking for food very aggressively. And Bandar Eban has been long past that.
Mm-hmm. Because it's not even like, they ate through their stores of food. Their stores of food are all bad.
Right. The food that they were going to eat has spoiled. Every time you go to get the next bag of travel rations, it's also moldy. Like, it's different.
These are definitely Schrodinger's bags of wheat, right? Like, they're not spoiled or unspoiled until you open them, and then it depends on when you open them, right? This is something observing causes the possibilities to collapse into a single.
Yeah, when Rand tells the dockmaster dude, like, no, you just didn't open enough, and the guy's like, excuse me, that's not how statistics work. I'm with the dockmaster. I'm like, no, Rand, this was not a matter of he just didn't open enough. It's a matter of every bag he opened, he collapsed its quantum state. That's what happened. It's different. You're gaslighting him, Rand. Be nice.
Because it wouldn't have mattered at the time how many he opened. They would have all been bad.
Exactly. If he had opened one bag and called it a day, all the rest would be good. If he'd opened every single bag and called it a day, none of it would have been good. Like, that's the fact.
And like Rand is the thing that is able to change that chance, right? Like that's the whole point. He changes probabilities. That's what he's able to do as the Dragon Reborn, as a Taviran, right? This is he's getting extra Taviran here. His Taviranness is turned up to 1,000 because he can just fuck with odds. In the same way that Matt's able to do with dice and luck, Rand's just doing it with bags of grain and potatoes.
And clouds.
And clouds.
Right? That's part of the opening of the chapter is like the clouds have done their eerily perfect circular melt away.
And what are the odds of that? I mean, possible, but unlikely.
Right.
And so I think that's the difference between Taviranness and magic, right? The Taviranness is always something that could happen, but is highly unlikely. Whereas with, the one power, you can do things that are not otherwise possible.
Right. People will never get lifted up and thrown spontaneously. Clouds could melt away in a perfect circle.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I gotta say, this whole scene, right, where he comes in and he sort of goes to the people and says, hey, let's clean this place up and we can make this city better. It's very much what Brandon Sanderson did in Elantris, right? His whole first novel is essentially this storyline in a series, right? People who are suffering, who have become dirty, who have become zombie-like, just need the fact that if they cleaned themselves up and got to work and did some hard work, they could improve their lives and improve the city. And why didn't they just think of that themselves? Aradia's making a gagging face at me.
It's so disgusting. We need a big, strong, clean, rich, well-apportioned man to come in and tell us dirty, stupid pores to just clean up our act and get in line, and then everything will be better. I have self-respect now that I've washed my hands. Oh, thank you, foreigner. I wouldn't have known to wash my hands without your beneficence. It's real gross.
Listen, get up and make your bed, and if you do that first thing in the morning, the rest of your day is going to be perfect. If you didn't know that,
Yeah, it's pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's white saviorism. It's classism. It's, oh yes, this woman who's cleaning people up who didn't think of that until a man told her to do it. Like, I bet you fucking anything that this woman who's gonna be an Aes Sedai someday was already doing basic water hauling and hygiene and trying to control disease. And Sanderson / Rand is just like, oh yeah, I inspired her to start doing that. Mm-hmm. Sure, buddy. That woman really needed your help. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love the rant.
It's really annoying.
Yeah. But he does have the one thing, right, that they don't, which is the ability to open sacks of grain and go, look, it was good all along.
Well, and he also does the, reasonably astute thing of saying, let's bring resources up to the gate and let these people access them and distribute them and have some agency. He does a little bit of top-down white saviorism of coming in and saving people, but then he pulls back and he's like, no, let's mostly give them agency. I'm still going to take all the gold stars, but let's pretend that they have agency, which is, nice, I guess. It's a little bit better than fucking Daenerys striking off all the chains and getting crowd surfed around like the one white girl that's there. I guess it's better. But it's also so magical story convenience. And then he has a squad of people who just immediately have the skills because isn't that convenient? It's okay, now we're back into familiar Taviran, just making everything smooth for plot.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I mean, if this is... And in a way, I get it, right? Because he's becoming super Taviran. As the Dark One enters the world, the Dark One is pushing his finger down on the bad things happen balance. And now that Rand has his moment of epiphany, he has the ability to push down the other way and make good things happen randomly, right? And make things just magically work out for him. He is balancing the evil the Dark One is doing by locally creating these coincidences. So I understand that, from a plot sense, it kind of makes sense for everything to just be working out for him locally.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And if that's what he's trying to do, I think he's doing a wonderful job of it.
Yeah. And he also thinks about the Seanchan aspect of when I was here, contrasting his rulership with the Seanchan. This is a level of reiteration. It's okay, fine. We got to come full circle. You're allowed to reiterate this once. He does reiterate it several times, not just once, but it is a point worth remembering. And then we get to one of my least favorite Min sections ever. I love Min. Y'all know I love Min. But first of all, in the audiobook, Michael and Kate have decided that Min's canonically deep voice is now not deep, which drives me crazy in and of itself from just a performance perspective. But Min here is just the most sexy lamp she's ever been.
Rand, I see sunlight around you. You're gonna save everyone. I believe in you. You're such a big, strong savior.
Oh, it's so not her. I hate it.
I love that voice. Oh, that's great.
I hate it so much.
Oh, man.
I get that Rand thinks he needs it, but I didn't need it.
Oh, I want to write a book with that character as the main character and make you read it.
No, you could not pay me enough. Thank you, Vucci.
That was impressively creepy, yeah. No, but actually have that person be like an evil mastermind of the death of a bunch of men. That's how I get you to read it.
Yeah, no, I mean, doing that as like a maniacal, insane, creepy voice could be fun, but doing it as this is a critique of my favorite character being the worst.
Yeah, yeah.
Not Min. Don't do this to Min.
And like, I almost even don't want to go into these viewings because they're so badly generic.
Oh, yeah, no, yes. There's nothing here. Oh, there's sunshine. There's people that will follow you. Everything's going to be all right in the end. Okay. Great.
Like, where's the mention of the fireflies? Like, the let's keep track of those and the void and that sort of thing. Instead, it's just this, like, I see the two rivers, Rand. I see an inn with the mark of the dragon's fang inlaid on the door. No longer a symbol of darkness or hate, a sign of victory and hope.
Also, I think she's lying because she didn't fucking see that. She just said she saw that. Like, that's bullshit. That is a bullshit vision. She never fucking saw that. Garbage.
She hesitated. Yeah, she hesitated to make that shit up.
Yeah, like the text does not describe what she sees. It does not describe her internal experience. It's just her saying the words that Rand needs to hear out of her perfect Betty Boop face. Like, she is a sexy lamp right now. All of these people are going to fight. I can see it. Yeah, it's the last battle and everyone with like 3 working limbs is going to be fighting. And then Rand's like, could you maybe not insult me so much? And she's like, no, this is the one thing I get as a treat. And I'm just like, okay, it's very juvenile, but all right. I guess if that's what makes you happy, keep calling him Woolhead, like whatever.
And then she turns and she gets some viewings of the people in the city who basically are like, these people will fight in the last battle, right? Like, that they don't give up hope on them. You're going to save the city. The city is going to pull itself together enough to fight in the last battle, is essentially the message she is able to give him.
Which is just like, we didn't need a prophet to tell us that. That's how books work. That's how the end of the world hero marching through the city works. You don't need a prophet to make that happen.
And there's this weird, she sees all the viewings among all these people all at once when she almost never sees viewings, over non-channelers.
Rand's Taviran maxing is really, it's even affecting her visions.
Right. Right, totally. We get the sort of confrontation where he's like, you see me as a killer. And she's like, no, I don't. Like, just because you nearly strangled me, I know that wasn't you. Right? Like,
yeah.
And they finally have that conversation. Right.
And she's like, do you feel that in the bond? He's like, no. And all of us in the audience are like, yeah. And have you been feeling that in the bond for the past several weeks? No.
Right. No.
This is such an old conversation. Stop it. Oh, yeah. We also had that there was a maiden earlier that I'm assuming is one of those donor names. And then there's these 2 soldiers that are some, I'm assuming, donor names.
Yeah. I can go through them.
It's a cool name. Hydia? Hydia? Heidia? And then the other 2 names are... 3 names, actually. Vodabek, Redboard, and Durnham.
Durnham I didn't find anything for. Durnham appears to, just be here. Sorry, the Encyclopedia Watt is down, so I'm sort of pulling from a couple of different sources. They're not my usual source. Oh, Lane. Sorry. Lane, I don't have anything about him being... But, okay, so, I'm sorry. That'll be fun to cut together. I'm sorry. So there's a couple of characters who I don't have anything for, but what I can say is, I don't have anything for Lane. He appears to just be the leader. But Vodabek is named for Nicholas Votrobek. Redboard is named for David Redboard. Hydia is named for Heidi Soderquist. Later, we get Two Rivers man named Rob Salter. He is named after Rob Saltier.
Okay.
And that was all of the references that I had that I was able to find for this chapter. Oh, Leah. Leah was the one who I was saying is in Lord of Chaos. She's a maiden of the spear. Okay. So she's takes Perrin and Fael to see Rand in Lord of Chaos. So she's just sort of a one-off name there, and then she's brought back in The Gathering, Storm, and then here in Towers of Midnight. So she's been sort of mentioned a few times. But I gotta say, having said that, you pointed out this pattern where the names are said once, and then for the rest of the paragraph, he constantly says, one of them, the other, the man's, his companion. The names are never mentioned again. It's never specified which one is which. And it's so obvious that he wrote that chapter and left 2 blank spaces for the names to be dropped in. And there's no other effort to it. There's no mention of like bringing those names back once or twice or having those characters appear later on in the chapter. Or, even here, one of them has a couple of lines, but you don't know which one's talking because he just says one of them said to his companion. And it's just, it's almost, since you pointed that out, it is taking me out of the moment. It is this moment where I'm like, okay, here's 2 names, people we don't care about. They're clearly named after fans. And you're going to do this song and dance to avoid just retyping their names once slightly later on.
Well, I imagine like he wrote it and was like, I've got 50 names here, I got 30 names there, like, we'll do it as part of the like last round of copy edits or something. Like, right. I don't know, some weird order of operations shenanigans.
Yeah, it really feels like they were those were blank spaces left until like the day before printing, and they're like, drop in the names.
Right. Yeah. I have no idea how things work, but that's what it feels like. It, like you said, low effort. It feels low effort. I'm sure it wasn't no effort, but low effort.
Because again, it's just like, just say the name a second time, or specify which of the 2 guys is talking.
No, we need to reiterate that Perrin doesn't understand the difference between an axe and a hammer for the 75th time. That's what we need to spend our page count on.
And so within an hour, he had a group of soldiers 500 strong. Okay, Taviran.
That's called a mob.
And so they approach the docks.
Oh, they've even got a leper that comes up to the group, so that way Rand can pass off his Jesus responsibilities to the Aes Sedai who are going to come behind him. And then, yeah, they head off down to the dock to confront Schrodinger's wheat.
Where, yeah, there's just a bunch of ships there.
Yeah, so they get down there, and the dockmaster has essentially barricaded the docks against people and forbidden the ships to unload because he can see that when people eat the grain, they die. So he's like, I'd rather watch you all slowly starve in the hopes that food will come tomorrow than let you all, like, poison yourselves today. He's been stuck between literally a rock and a hard place, and Rand just kind of waltzes in and is like, you silly man, you didn't have to do that. The power was in you the whole time. Just click your heels 3 times and it'll all go away.
He's like, did you check all the sacks? I checked enough, but did you check the sacks? What are you talking about? What, like, yeah, it's this.
And then, you know what Rand does? He spills the food on the floor
I love that.
To make a point. Like, bitch, please.
I mean, I know it's not very much food and like whatever, but people are starving, right? Like,
yeah, like that was enough food for a small child to get their first solid meal in a week and not throw it up. Like, you just let that fall on the floor for the cinematography. Like, whatever. I mean, sure, Athlon, but it's still low effort.
Yeah. So I like that idea that he didn't want to give any fans particular treatment by putting their names in twice, but like, fuck, then don't use their names, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. The whole thing feels very compromisey. Like, if you're writing a book based on art, why are you, did you really need the fundraiser?
Sanderson likes to gamify every aspect of his books, right? I'm going to release this chapter by chapter and get your feedback before I write the next chapter. Like, what? I don't pay that close attention. I don't know if that's exactly how it works, but I've been inundated with enough Kickstarter updates that I didn't ask for to have that impression.
No, and the other thing, okay, think about this grain. It's been killing the rats. Every time the rats bite into a sack and chew through it, it's killing them.
Yeah, Rand, stop gaslighting this poor dockmaster.
His response, what happened? We happened to open the exact number of bad sacks without reaching one of the good ones? That's ridiculous. Not ridiculous, simply implausible. Okay, Sherlock Holmes.
Like, bitch, please.
Yeah.
Like he apparently understands that apologizing to Irulan's not going to be good enough, but gaslighting him is apparently fine.
It's totally fine.
Yeah. And I do like Irulan being like, like, what have I been doing? I've been trying to keep people from starving themselves. What have you been doing,
Right.
Lord Dragon? It's like when Morel just like totally goes off on him after like the sea folk bargain. And she's like, you left in the middle of the argument. You can't be mad that the bargain didn't go the way you want. It's the same energy. And I'm like, I need more characters to unload on Rand like that. This is necessary. Like, I am glad that he's getting yelled at, even though he is Zen now, so it doesn't have quite the same impression on him. But like, whatever. It's still satisfying.
So he appoints Aurelian steward of the city and Durham as the commander.
Because they're the only ones that didn't leave, right? He like appointed the merchant council. Was like, you have to do an election and make it all legal. And every single one of those rats just bailed. And like, here's the people who stayed.
Yeah. And that was a whole big thing. He spent forever he spent like half a book assembling that merchant council. That was the whole thing.
And according to Irulan, they left in a day. 24 hours. They were gone.
And Sanderson also likes to do that. He likes to set up goals for the characters to spend like half a book working on and then be like, oh, that didn't matter anyway. We're going to do this other thing over here. Yeah, he does that a lot.
Ugh. Like, I'm all for red herrings and killing off important characters so that way you don't feel secure about who's left. But, like, there's a limit.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like he hit that there.
I really like also Irulan's complaint. We won't reach the last battle, right? He's like, we're starving to the point that we aren't even going to make it to the last battle. And that to me is just like, that's the bleakest thing. And as the world is ending, that this massive cataclysm. It's like, what if you literally can't even get to participating? Like, that's the bleakest outcome of all.
And I read something online, I don't know how true this is, but I'm spreading rumors, that part of Jordan's original plan to end the last battle relatively quickly was basically this, that Rand was going to come to a realization very quickly that the Dark One was destroying the world and we weren't going to make it to the last battle, and that's why he would break the seals prematurely to start the last battle, because otherwise we'd all be dead before it even started. And then you were going to sort of have this like premature start to the last battle.
I mean, that would have been a good like break glass in case of fire kind of emergency escape hatch on his writing process.
Right.
Like at any book, he can just be like, oh, and now starvation's making the lines cross. We got a last battle right now.
Because he certainly foreshadowed starvation quite a bit, and with the food spoiling, which was happening before Sanderson, right? That was very much going on for a while. So yeah, I can really see that being the oh my God, we just need to fight this now, like, because otherwise we're going to be dead and we're going to lose our strength. Because he even sort of talks about it a couple of times in these books, right? He does mention like, oh my God, we can't delay any longer. We are starving. We are having these problems.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big part of why Perrin is gathering an army, is because there's a bunch of people being like, I would rather fight in the last battle tomorrow than starve today. That's a big part of why Perrin has such an army to bring in.
It's a big part of why the U.S. has such an army.
Yeah, we'll feed you right up until you get blown up.
But that's pretty much the end of the chapter for me. I don't have anything else to say about it.
Yeah, Rand says everyone who I've touched today and all of the grain I've looked at today, all of that is going to be good and perfect. I'll stay for 24 hours to make the spell magic cement lock, and then on to the next thing. And then Min does more weird, sexy lamp shit. It's like,
I'm surprised by him every day. Aw, look at my cross stitch with an inspirational quote. Here's my kitten picture that says, just hang in there.
Wow.
And then the chapter ends.
Wow.
Like, I did not sleep very well last night, you guys. My filter is low.
I think we should have you not sleep more often. This is great.
I love Min, but that means I'm going to fiercely defend her when she gets written badly.
Fair. Yeah, there's nothing worse than your favorite character being poorly portrayed or doing something that you think goes against their core, beliefs or tenets that make them who they are.
Yeah. So with less than half an hour on the clock, you want to go to the next chapter.
Jesus.
All that bitching and whining from me, and we didn't even get to half an hour.
Wow. I did my fair amount of bitching and whining about the named characters.
Like I said at the top, we got a lot of pages to get through, but not a lot of content.
Parley.
So now we're going to go into the peakiest of peaks, Anderson, that we could possibly have.
Shall we have another meeting between the Whitecloaks and Perrin to rehash out the ideas all over again about...
But this time, we identify Galad.
Right, and Morghese.
This time, everyone is aware of who Galad is, up to and including Morghese.
And she gets called out. So that is something that has been foreshadowed for a long time, right? Morghese coming out of the closet and basically being recognized as the queen instead of Perrin's servant. Like, that's been set up by Jordan a long, long time ago. And that there is payoff to that for me.
Yeah, I mean, and even to an extent, like, I feel like Jordan set up a strong potential that Galad would find Morghese.
Sure.
Like, I feel like that the breadcrumbs for that were there before Sanderson.
Right. But the rest of it, oh boy.
And I do love the intensity of feeling between Galad and Morghese. Like, as someone with two step parents with whom I have, very like strong, intense familial relationships with, I really like that Jordan's just like, oh yeah, no, like step parent child relations are just as strong. Like, if there is a parental bond, there's a parental bond. It does not have to do with biology. It has to do with your emotional relationship. And I don't know, it's kind of like not the characters I would have thought would bring that through, like Galad being like, yeah, step parents are cool, but like it works for me.
They're not always evil, step parents.
They're not. They're really not. Sometimes they're doing their best and they don't fuck it up horribly in the process.
It's just parents usually fuck it up in the process. Step parents are not. Yeah, a little bit.
Right.
Turns out being a parent's hard, so I've been told.
Yeah. But, Morghese talks about how she loves him as much as the children she actually had. Galad, like, doesn't ever talk about feeling like distant or held back from her. Like, he lost his mom really early and she stepped in with a wholly open heart and like the relationship's good. So I like that part of this, but everything else is like, yes, Perrin, we know you don't understand how axes and hammers work. Congratulations. I mean, literally remember the last time we were with Perrin and he like used a wood axe to like chop wood without thinking about the conflict once. And then he's up in here being like, yeah, the axe and the hammer are different. I just thought of that for the first time this chapter. Definitely.
Right. Not the whole book that was all based around him cutting off someone's hand and throwing the axe away, because he's never, I mean, I would say he's trying to reflect on that moment. But, yeah. So it starts off with the Ashaman basically saying we can't make gateways or skim. Which I do like that he threw in skimming as well, right?
Yes.
That was nice. But essentially that means we know the dome is up. The dream spike has been activated
in its final location for purposes of this conflict.
Of the trap.
Yes. The trap is now positioned.
Right. And essentially it would have sprung if the Whitecloaks weren't there, because they're kind of in the way, and the Shadow Spawn don't want to attack both at once. They want to surprise Perrin and his soldiers as they troop through there, so they're waiting for this conflict to end to attack.
Right, yeah, they're assuming that the Whitecloaks and Perrin will sort of soften each other up and then the trap proper can spring.
Right. But in the meantime, nobody's traveling anywhere.
Right, the Ashaman are like, yeah, we just haven't practiced enough. And I'm like, guys, I need you to take the oath against lying, because that was a lie. Like, we've seen you make this is not an issue of practice. Like, shush, this is something different than a lack of experience. I like Perrin thinks about his army with a bunch of very classic metaphors. They're like boulders, like sapling oaks, like adders. He's, looking at his troops being like, yeah, analogy montage. I'm so literate, so literary.
And how he's letting the women train. He's letting people, if they want to fight in the last, he has this moment of, he's like, if they want to fight in the last battle, who am I to stop them? And then goes, and I need to send them home.
Look, he's protective of everyone. And he lets Fail be anywhere near him at all. Very beneficent, very, love to just see him letting his wife make choices. Really great. Awesome.
By shoving her in the back with all the Aes Sedai and channelers, whether she's away from everybody.
Yeah, very respectful, super, caring about her agency. Yep, love that.
Listen, to understand a thing, you have to understand its parts and its purpose.
But the hammer was different.
The axe only kills, but the hammer can either create or kill. That is the difference. Thank you, Sanderson, for spelling that out. Yeah.
I can choose not to kill. I'm able to choose. Wow. It's like the power of friendship going to carry us through, too. Like, come on.
Classic tell instead of show. Again, the showing that we saw when he cut off the man's hand and threw away the axe, that was the moment. He didn't need to really ever think about it ever again.
But then we have this lovely little piece of hypocrisy. The Shido needed killing, but I don't know if the Whitecloaks do. Let's not spend 18 pages pondering the hypocrisy of that statement. Because I would argue that the Whitecloaks need killing more than the Shido, because they've been doing what they've been doing for generations. The Shido have been running rampant over the countryside for the past 6 months. The Whitecloaks have existed for I don't know how many centuries, but more than one, to judge by the way they talk about their founder. Like, they're way more of an established hate group that causes problems than the Shido running rampant. Like, maybe they both need to be killed, but, like, I don't know if the Whitecloaks they need killed. They are a hate group. They are an avowed hate group. Their entire goal in life is to torture and kill people. Kill them all, please and thank you. At least if you're going to just throw all million Shido under the bus, I think we can also throw the KKK under the bus.
Right, because don't forget, the Shido is also a clan of men, women, children.
People who joined their society because their clan was doing things they didn't agree with. Like, it's so the Shido needed killing because they're scary foreigners.
The brotherless joined the Shido because they didn't believe in your white savior.
And therefore they're all just equally culpable
right.
in the fact that your wife, your single white woman prize, got taken off of its pedestal, and so you just get to do a fucking scorched earth policy on an entire population of displaced foreigners to get your one precious pussy back. Like, I love Fail, but like, come the fuck on, Perrin. I'm allowed to just kill thousands of people to get my wife back. Like, she's a grown-ass adult person. Please be reasonable.
That's why I really would have liked it if he had taken down, if the brotherless had gotten her out, gotten her to him in the course of the battle. He took down the Shido, but then recruits all the brotherless to fight for him underneath Rand indirectly, where he's like, well, you're not fighting for Rand, but you're fighting for me. And that's how you get to participate in the last battle. And he brings this whole cohort of Aiel back into the fold and into the fight.
Kind of like how a lot of the Aiel that get hit with the emptiness? The bleakness?
The bleakness.
Yeah, how a lot of them end up joining up with the Tuatha and then end up essentially being part of the like medical triage in the back.
Sure.
That's like coming through and like dealing with who's wounded at the end. And like they are essentially helping. They've been looped back around through some means. That would have been great.
Mm-hmm. And some of them wake up. I think they do say that some of them come out of their stupor meaner and angrier and ready to fight, right? Like, some of them are like coming out of that stupor that they've been in for like 2 years, ready to fight in the last battle.
I mean, when you've got Perrin pointing you at a wall of Trollocs, it's hard to hold on to despondency, I think.
Right.
Like those golden eyes, those slavering jaws. Like, yeah, I think picking up a spear again is about the move for me.
Right, yeah. This is the end of the world. There's a little bit of like, okay, it's the end of the world. Sure, my personal like honor maybe needs to be put aside for a moment.
I also really would have liked it if Perrin had done his dream level up sooner to get Fail out. You know, if he had done his whole montage training with Hopper and like snuck Fail and the others out through the dream and been way leveled up on the dream before and just left the Shido to stew in their own juices. No war at all.
Because if he had his teleport skills, he could have just teleported in, gotten her out, teleported out. Like,
yeah, he could have taken all of the guys' shine out in the course of like 3 nights. They could have just vanished into literal thin air because Perrin has like dimension hopping brain. But alas, we have to go with kill foreigners. Foreigners bad. Also, the KKK is redeemable.
Right. I think that's what's so hard about the Whitecloaks is just like they just don't have any redeemable qualities, and they're not even good troops. Like, what's the point of rescuing them? It's not like they're even crappy cannon fodder.
To prove that white men on horses in white robes who think that they're right about everything can be redeemed if you talk to them real nice and smile real pretty. They just have to be nice to them, and then we'll solve the male loneliness epidemic.
The whole point of this chapter is how easily it would be for Perrin to wipe them out because they're so ineffective as troops.
I know. I don't think Sanderson understands a lot of the things that we are critiquing.
All
right, so Perrin does his big flashbang booming voice thing. Oh, that would be really dumb if we showed all of our hand right at the very opening thing. But also now we've proven that we could kill you all. So do you want to meet now?
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I like this move. This is a moment that sticks with me. The whole like just flexing to be like, okay, you want to attack? Let's show you what you can do. Because it doesn't. They can still use the Ashaman to attack if they charge. They can still use their bows, and they wasted some arrows, but not that many. They presumably have an infinite number because, you know. D&D
rules, yeah.
Yeah, D&D rules, right? You don't actually count those things anymore. They're just always there when you reach for them.
Not until the final battle, when the last 5 seconds are going to take the last 15 minutes of the movie to get through.
Right. Then everything else, you have enough cutscenes to reclaim your arrows or make more or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, you gave away our advantage. I'm like, well, yeah, they gave it away, but like, what else are the Whitecloaks going to do except charge, right? They have no choice.
Well, in fairness, Arganda is a charging is the strategy kind of guy. He doesn't know how to operate with more than charge as an option. So in fairness, he is well matched to the Whitecloaks.
And one would assume Galad could do more if he had, but all he has is people on horseback against channelers and bowmen. What else is he going to do?
Yeah, he doesn't have archers at all. So, yeah. And which is why he capitulates, right? He has his decision, his mind's been made up, but then he's told, like, face slaughter or talk to me again. And he's like, fine, I'll talk.
Or the archers he does have, don't have the 2 rivers length, so they can be attacked for quite some time before they can return fire, before they can get close enough.
Right, they're like horse bows.
Right,
So they're not good in a distance fight.
No, so it's like, yeah, they can essentially be wiped out on approach. And the ones that do make it through, I'm sure, will be easily taken down.
I mean, horses are large targets, you know?
And if you fuck up the ground, the horse's charge just doesn't work.
Yeah, horses are running around on their middle finger. They're very easy to screw up.
So true. Isn't that creepy?
It is. Those anatomical drawings where it's like, oh, yeah, they're just rocking around on this, like, they're like saying fuck you, but in a really, like fancy way.
They're like ballerinas telling you to go fuck yourself.
Yeah, so it's easy to see. When you see a human arm and a horse's leg, it is easy to understand why they get broken so easily. Like, oh, that's a lot of animal to have balanced on the tip of one finger. You're a big horse.
Yeah, imagine like a ton. Horses get to what, 600 pounds, 800 pounds?
Something like that. They can crush your foot without meaning to.
Yeah.
They're that heavy.
And they're doing that all on one toe.
On the middle finger. It's so bent back. And then their ankle is like halfway up the leg. It's ridiculous. Anyway, horses in war are amazing until they're not. And they're a major liability. So yeah, Fael rolls up and is like, wow, you're so different, so decisive. And Perrin's like, I'm literally being the most indecisive I could possibly be right now. But sure. Great.
There was this line where she says, something's changed about you. I'm trying to figure out what. And I'm not sure what she's talking about, right? Is this the moment when he decides not to kill them? Like is she referring to the moment when he realizes that axe is not for killing? Is that supposed to be a major epiphany that something has changed in him in this moment because he finally realized, because he said it out loud to himself instead of when he threw away the axe?
That's the best I got, is that Perrin had a moment of revelation and Fael instantly clocks it. I think he just kind of made a decision and she's like, oh, you've gotten down off the fence. I can tell that you're no longer hovering on the fence. You've now picked a side. But I don't buy it. I think that's what Sanderson's selling, but I'm not buying.
Fair enough. Yeah, I agree that there's a moment there where we're supposed to see this as a major revelation that he's finally figured out the axe and the hammer thing. And it just doesn't, it's not earned.
Yeah. Exactly. And Fael doesn't even have the ability to smell his emotions. So, as Athlon said in chat, she could smell self-revelation. Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Which takes me to the Galad POV switch.
All right. Yeah. Let's go over to an almost equally frustrating character in this scene.
So Galad is all like, oh, I was prepared for Aes Sedai channeling because you can just give them a polite nod and say, I will not kill you, and they're not going to attack back.
In the middle of a battle, just nod politely and walk away. That's a super realistic way that battle works. Okay.
Totally. But he's sort of saying, oh, they've got channelers that aren't tied by the oaths, and that's making him rethink, because he's got half a brain, unlike the rest of the Whitecloaks that have no brain, where he's like, oh, maybe a charge at channelers isn't such a good idea.
Maybe a run uphill at archers and channelers is not gonna go well for me. Yeah, real orange cat energy right here. He's getting his one day with the brain cell.
And so he sort of is like, fine, we'll parlay. Bornhald and Bayar are really pissed off about it because, well, Bayar at least has been brain-fried by Grendel.
Right, yeah.
I was kind of looking for, like, moments of Bayar compulsion evidence. I really only found like one, like his eyes burned with a wild zeal that matched Bornhold's anger. And I'm like, okay, fine. The zeal could be the compulsion, the hate.
But that's also the Whitecloaks. It's the same thing that like was all
It's
of the
Aaron Hall.
Seamus followers.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things that the human brain can throw up. I mean, honestly, if I couldn't, like, I can barely remember which one of them is compulsed because they are such a match set. Like, I know that, like, Bornhold, because he's the younger Bornhold, he's the one that, like, isn't as corrupted and, like, does the ultimate stab his friend in the back. Like, I can remember that logically, but they behave in ways that are so identical that, yeah, I don't really think you can tell the difference between the compulsion and the naturally came by it honest hate. You know, like Bornhold is working from incorrect information, but his hate is at least organically generated. He thinks that Perrin killed his father, and that's you don't need magic for that. And Bayard, you know, they can psych each other up just fine without magic.
Well, and if we go back, Bayard was the one who like took him captive and had the axe, and like
the younger Bornhold wasn't there in that whole first interaction. It was only the elder Bornhold.
And Bayard who like
yes.
Yeah.
Bayard was just a bad guy from the jump.
Yeah. Bayard got and that's and this the other thing is like there seems to be some attempt to redeem him a little bit here and be like, oh, he's not as that bad, but
he was bad before Grendel ever got her claws into him. Like he was, let me help you escape so that I can kill you while running away. In book 1. Like, yeah, no, he's not redeemable.
That's right. He threw the rock down and was like, try and escape. Yes. And then, yeah.
Yeah, it's too inconvenient for us to take, because we can't stalk the princess and we can't stalk the Andorran noble kids if we're slowed down by taking you into custody as a murderer. So we're just going to have to kill you. Like, they're just the way they do the extrajudicial killing situation is so, yeah, no, there is no redeeming this guy. I like that Bornhold the Younger is redeemable because he is misled and there is something to redeem there. But like Bayard gets way too much, oh, is he redeemable screen time given that? No, he's a 2-dimensional villain.
Bayard definitely gives some like sprinkle some crack on him, Johnson, right? Like shoot him down, plant some evidence and call it a day. And then you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is a cop who does not hesitate to plant drugs on people. That's who Bayard is. Bayard did not have to be convinced. Bornhold had to be convinced. Bornhold had to be lied to that this is what your dad really wanted. And then once he realizes that his dad didn't want that, he's like, excuse me, friend, I need to stab you in the back now. You lied to me. Bayard was always very okay with the lying.
And that is the moment where they try and redeem Bornhold by having him stab Bayard in the back.
Which, I mean, stabbing your closest buddy who's been psyching you up into a hate frenzy for the past 3 years in the back because he's going to kill the guy you hate is a pretty big mark in the redeeming column. Like, that's a big act. It's a very big act. Anyway, we're not there yet. For now, we are at Galad having his second impression of Perrin and going, wow, I can really read this man very specifically. He's a simple countryman who's noble enough to have elevated himself to lord. How perfect. Also, what is that hot chick doing next to him? Holy shit, she's so hot.
I want to play Strangers in the Night in the background while we do this segment, right? Like Strangers in the Night. Them seeing each other very much like slow motion, eyes meeting.
And he's instantly like, why would this beautiful woman be following a creature like Eban? Like, he knows her. He knows her soul. He knows everything there is to know about her. She's so fucking hot.
But at the same moment, we later get from her POV, she's doing the same thing. Like, who's that hunk of a man, Whitecloak, and please don't attack him. He's just so gorgeous. He can't be killed in a battle. That would be such a waste. No.
Yeah, both of their hair is like blowing back in a fan that no one else can see. Like,
right,
kind
right,
of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, sparkles and lens flare and
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Everyone else is just like, why are they looking at each other like that? This is awkward.
Totally. Like, the people, their friends are like snapping in their ear, like, hey, Perrin.
Right, exactly.
Galad thinks he's being cool, but his like jaw is just like dropped open.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, my name is Dalad Galadmed.
Yeah. Why is everybody whispering in slow motion? Oh, we just do that when she walks in. It's fine.
And yeah, so now Perrin finally gets a name for Galad. This is technically before Morghese walks in, which is, I guess, why her gasp of recognition is later, is because she doesn't walk in until after the introductions are made.
Right. They bring in the tea later. She's part of the, they don't have the tea set up beforehand for some reason. Even though they have the pavilion set up, you'd think they'd set up the tea too. But I guess it's all so fast. They needed time to boil the water or something.
Right. Yeah. Whatever.
So yeah, we spend pages doing proper introductions between all the queens behind Perrin. And
the really funny thing, though, is Galad and Berlin are clearly having like their meet cute moment, and Perrin just keeps interjecting, like comments into it. Like he has no idea he is third wheeling on the most romantic
hard.
meet cute ever. Like they are trying to be like, small talk about things. And he's like, news update. Anyway, news update. I can offer clarification. They're trying to flirt, sir.
Actually, it reminds me a lot of the night I met Never, and Travis was there, and he kept trying to talk to us, and we were like, excuse us, we're flirting over here. And so
the straights are flirting,
the
sir.
Straights are flirting. No, the difference is, I would say Travis got the hint very quickly and was like, I'm going to head out, and you two should stay. And he definitely kept us... he didn't miss the hints, unlike Perrin, who's where it's going right over his head. Yeah,
which in Perrin's case, it's definitely the autism. It's definitely he is tunnel vision focused on getting this meeting done, and he is not going to notice spur of the moment dynamics between people.
And even if he did, he does not give a shit.
Well,
right?
also that.
He's like, that's not important.
But he never picks up on it. He is shocked when Berlin starts hooking up with, or starts hanging out with
right.
Galad. He's like, why did that happen? That makes no sense. It's like, you can't smell arousal. You can smell jealousy, but you can't smell arousal. I'm sorry, but that woman needs new underwear as of right now. I'm sure you can tell. I don't know what horniness smells like, Fuji, but if he can smell indecision with a touch of defiance, he can definitely smell horniness. No, we know what he thinks horniness smells like, because he says, oh, that special extra fail smell that she always gets, it's extra strong when she's extra passionate. And it's like, okay.
Maybe it smells different on different people.
Yeah, exactly. It's just more them. Whatever their smell is, it gets stronger. That's what horniness smells like, canonically.
Yeah. Dr. Pants, that's correct.
I'm just saying, like, that is one of the most, like, physiologically apparent, quote-unquote, emotions that you're going to find. So with the amount of reading people's minds with his nose that he's been doing, like, that level of awooga should be pretty clear.
That and fear, I feel like, are the two that are really going to, like, make you know that your heart's going to race and you're going to start sweating.
Right, you're going to start sweating. Yeah, totally. Your eyes are going to, like, change their dilation status.
The casual racism. Ibarra's wife regarded Galad with suspicion. Yes, she was obviously Saldean by that nose.
Anyway.
A Druish princess? What?
I also like how he hears this news about Elaine and Rand probably hooking up, and he's like, yeah, that tracks. I'm not even going to address the apparent potential insult to my sister, because that's actually probably true. I know her.
That is, and she's like, I do remember the way she like looked at him in the fucking garden, right? Like when she invited him in.
Exactly. Yeah, then they iterate the debate. You did a murder. I did a self-defense. Wolves aren't people. Fuck you.
That, oh my God, because we're going to go through that argument so many times.
Yeah. Oh, and then the other name that's relevant here is Galad, apparently in the course of all this, has learned that Egwene was there. This is news to him, but he's like, what? Egwene was there in that moment?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, she can't be a character witness because now she's, magic pope, but,
Magic pope.
I've been describing Wheel of Time to a lot of non-readers over the past few months, so I've gotten really used to using like my euphemisms to describe it to people who are not up on the lore.
Female magic pope.
Yep.
Excuse me. Tea went down the wrong pipe.
That's not for breathing. Don't breathe that.
I know. I'm not supposed to breathe tea. You'd think it was the smoking that would make me cough, but no, it's the tea.
At least the smoke is meant to go in your lungs.
No, it's really not, but we'll skip over that.
More so than the tea.
More so than the tea, yeah.
You intended to put it in your lungs. Let's put it that way.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Whether or not your lungs agreed to that is a separate issue. Yeah, exactly. Matriarchal Vatican is the White Tower.
magic matriarchal Vatican.
Everyone knows the Vatican's magic. That's a given.
Well, no, it's not. It's blessed. Listen, monks and sorcerers are two very different classes. We've discussed this. You can't overlap them.
This is actually true. Yeah. You should, though.
So in come the tea, right? In comes Morghese.
Right. Tea at a war parley. These are uncultured swine. Who serves tea at a war parley? People who need you to meet your stepmother again for plot reasons. That's who.
And so they discuss a trial, and they're like, a trial would be great, but we don't have anyone to trust to actually judge the trial because we have my people and your people, and I don't trust your people, and you don't trust my people.
Yeah.
And so then Morghese pops out, and it turns out she could be the perfect judge because apparently if he vouches for her, everyone will trust her. Seems odd to me, but okay.
Look, it's a cult, and if you can co-opt the leader of the cult, then the rest will follow. They're like horses. If you can tame the stallion, the rest of the herd will follow.
No worry about his influence over her, having, been her boss for the past, 6 months. No worry about favoritism.
Look, queens are a different level of person. They are noble. They are correct. They can do no wrong. Look at how white and patrician her face is. Look at the angle of that nose. Can she possibly be anything other than a paragon of virtue?
No objections over the fact that she trained in the White Tower, and these men don't trust anyone who trained in the White Tower.
She's pretty, and she was powerful. Ergo, she's good.
No mention of the fact that his whole point of killing Valda is because he killed this woman, and they all support him because of that. And then this woman is alive, and they're not going to worry about that and be like, oh, hey, you killed our master, and you were wrong.
Yeah, like, does she not have prejudice against your entire organization that's, like, way more valid than helping you destroy the man who's been, like, keeping her alive and safe for months?
But, I mean, just her presence undermines Galad's claim to lead the Whitecloaks, right?
Well, he killed Valda on basis of assault and murder. The assault still happened. Like, that's still a fact.
But if the murder didn't, wouldn't you then question if the assault even happened? And if he wasn't working together with his mother to set up Valda to take leadership over the Whitecloaks in an illegitimate way in order to...
The Whitecloaks are very happy to handwave that, yeah.
To then turn around and completely change their mission, completely ally with channelers when this is all being manipulated. Like, these are conspiracy-minded theorists. They're not going to be like, oh, Galad's connection to the White Tower doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it does feel like he should get stabbed in the back by Trom at this point.
Yeah. I don't like the change of loyalty of the Whitecloaks just doesn't. They should need to be wiped out.
It's not earned. It's not earned at all. It would be fine if Galad decided to abandon the Whitecloaks and join up with Perrin, and a few of his most loyal people were like, yeah, fuck it. We're going with Galad over the Order. Like, I could buy that, if 15 of them come over and they're, incorporated slowly. But just, they all fall into lockstep as the Whitecloaks. Nah, not earned.
Mm-hmm. No, I'd rather see him with a contingent of brotherless and wiping the Whitecloaks out than the other way around.
And Galad, just kind of hiding there with his tail between his legs, being like, I fucked up. I fucked up so much. I fucked up so bad.
And have them turn on him and have Perrin rescue Galad from the Whitecloaks.
Right, Perrin rescues Galad. That would have been fun, right? Galad thinks he needs defending. Yeah, that would have been good. That would have been real fun. And we could have gotten rid of all but the one good Whitecloak. But alas.
Instead, we get a trial.
A bullshit trial.
Yeah.
I mean, not in the sense that it's, like, legally bad, but just in the sense that there's way too many pages spent on relitigating things that never needed litigated.
And not to mention, like, skipping over all the Whitecloaks you murdered when you rescued Gaul. Like, just not going to mention that.
We're never going to mention that. Skipping over all of the villages that those people wiped out. Skipping over the part where... Anyway, we're litigating this to the point that we could write a whole other Sanderson chapter about it. So, let's get to Morghese. Morghese and Galad. Eye contact, gasp, hug, holy shit, wow, great moment.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't even say anything hardly. She's just like, yes, I will transition immediately to Morghese, no problem anyway.
Yeah, I am Morghese. That's not going to blow up my life at all. Reiterates that she renounced the crown, so she's not a threat to Elaine. And then kind of, and I do like the one thing where she's like, I fear more from the Whitecloaks than I do from Perrin, right?
That's a good line. That's a good damn line.
I have far more to fear from your associates than from Perrin Ebara. Yes, she did have reason to distrust the children. Good reason. Yeah, you think? That's the whole point of you killing Valda, is she was captured, manipulated, raped, and assumed murdered.
Yeah, I think the idea is with the assault is that everyone knew she was being tortured. Because she was literally getting, like, like needles under the fingernails kind of tortured. Like, that everyone knew that. And then they kind of assumed that she got killed. So, like, him attacking the man for assaulting his mom is like, yeah, I mean, she was being tortured. Everyone knows that. It was going on for a while. It's not like it was a secret to the Whitecloaks.
And this is also why it's so unbelievable that the spy master didn't know who she was.
Or didn't know. Yeah. Balwer not connecting the Galad thing. It's just nope. And then Galad has his very Perrin-esque moment. I'm beginning to see, child buyer. We must prove our claims. Otherwise, we're no better than Asunawa. Wow. Man who decided to become part of a paramilitary force that does extrajudicial murder. You've discovered the concept that the law matters? Princeling, who has a black and white approach to morality and justice and has been a rules lawyer since he was old enough to talk in complete sentences. You've just discovered the concept that doing things without proper legal justification is absolute fucking horsepucky? Okay. All right. Sure. You hadn't, does it never occur to you before? Sure, fine.
I'm sure Morghese never lectured him on something like that.
Not once.
Not once.
But sure, grown man. Explain that to another grown man who also is old enough and scary enough to have killed several people because he thinks that he understands the law already.
I think what pisses me off so much about these chapters and these sections is just how much it infantilizes the characters and makes them feel like they don't know what they should know and that they don't exist in a world where they like are smart people who have agency. It feels like they're just like forgetting things that they should know. And it leaves weird holes in these characters.
It makes stuff feel not earned. It makes stuff get reiterated that shouldn't be reiterated.
Mm-hmm.
It's funky. But Perrin does manage to get all of his people and supplies released as sort of collateral on doing the trial, which is good leadership negotiation, I guess. And then they set a date for 3 days, and we get to close the chapter.
Yeah, I guess the only other thing I think I forgot to say is in the previous chapter when Rand was doing his whole, like, let's unite and fight back, it felt very much like Terry Goodkind in one of his books where the hero goes into basically a communist society and shows them the wonders of capitalism, and they all unite together and, like, start building shit. And I just wanted to say that and be like, there's a book like that Terry Goodkind wrote, and there's a reason Terry Goodkind is trash. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But Terry Goodkind has a little more of the political implications, I think. But again, it does feel just weird in that chapter.
It's got a very Eurocentric, top-down, patriarchal, this is the pyramid we've all been living under kind of vibe. Where it's just like, got any fun plot twists? No interesting 12-year-old girls who are actually running the most effective street gang that can hand you the city on a silver platter already? None of that? Just big, strong man with a chest of gold shows up and starts telling people what to do, and everyone, yes, sirs, their way into a neat, orderly formation?
That's what we do.
Ugh. Anyway, I'm glad that some people in the audience apparently like what we have to say, because, God, that was a lot of bitching.
Yeah, it was. It was. You know what? And I'm sorry, but sometimes it's just not good. And I hate to be the one to say that, but like, it's just, there's parts of it that are not good.
There's parts of it that are good, though. I do hope that we're giving oxygen to the parts that we like.
There are parts of it that are very good. There are parts of it that are amazing. Yes, and I love that it got finished. And I by no means expect every chapter to be perfect when someone else is taking over for someone else and writing in a different style. However, as you're going through it slowly, chapter by chapter, and not looking at it as a whole, there are peaks and there are valleys.
Yeah. And that's why today's episode was an hour long.
Hey, at least we didn't do that one chapter where we skipped it and everyone got really angry at us.
You get one of those per 14 book series.
We really had nothing to say about it. We were like, I don't know, man. There's nothing going on.
When I was putting together the compiled episodes for the Patreon, I got to that one and I was so confused when the download just snapped by, and then I loaded it into my DAW to put it together. And I'm like, no, that file has to be broken. They're not supposed to be that short. And I listened to it, I was like, oh, right. It was that one. But I never make 3-minute episodes, except that one time I did.
Except that one time you did, yeah.
All right. Well, ready to be done with this and go do the other project?
Yeah, I think so. Thanks for joining us once again. God, I kind of want to do Patreons, but I hate to do them in front of such a depressing episode.
We'll find a better chapter.
We'll
get to
find
you
a
guys
better chapter
soon,
for
promise.
patrons. Yeah, thank you so much for everyone who's been donating and contributing. Really appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Wheel of Time Spoilers podcast. Please rate and review us on your podcast app, and consider supporting us on Patreon for ad-free episodes. What Spoilers is a production of Fox and Raven Media. For more podcasts from Fox and Raven Media, visit our website at foxandravenmedia.com.